close, and Happy will go down. MBK, what a spray down, triple, quad kill, they all line up.
Alu can't make it away, caught in the heels. The strike comes in for Ray!
Simple just jumping casually into the side. He's going to fall down again on the strike. Why is this trap from Simple? Why is there?
ESL 1 New York, the Barclays Center's rocking. It's starting to pack up. Good morning, New York! Woo. Good vibes, great times, and even more importantly, great energy, because today is a very, very special day. I get the opportunity, the chance, and the honor to show you guys something really, really cool, very impactful in all of our lives. But first and foremost, let's get our introduction straight here. To my left, I do have Volcano, and I do have FM Pone. Round of applause for the father and other father of DE Cash. Now, for a little bit of an introduction, where do we start? Let's start with you, Sal. Tell the crowd who you are. Where do you come from? I know the 3D days. You've worked with maps. Talk to me about yourself.
Sure. Yeah, I started as a pro player in Counter-Strike, dating way back to maybe late 2001, early 2002, and I competed up until about 2015.
Ooh.
Yeah, and during that time, I originally started doing level design, worked on DE Cash, and that came out first 2010 in CS Source.
Damn. So it's been quite the run. What about yourself, FM Pone? I know that you are the father of CS Museum, so tell me about that.
Yeah, I've been a level designer and environment artist for probably more than half my life. I started doing this when I was like 15, 16 years old, so
wow.
It's been just a huge passion of mine.
So, I mean, obviously this passion has kind of made a crossroads between the two of you. Talk to me about teaming up. How was it that this tag team duo became to be?
Sure, yeah. Sean reached out to me, actually. It was 2013, and he said we should do a collaboration. I totally agreed. It was something I was also interested in doing, because the early versions of Cash, maybe they played well, but they didn't really look great. And you know, Sean's a master at that. And so we teamed up, and I think it really took the map to the next level.
So just to kind of put a finger where everything is here, layout, structuring, and pretty much the design is your area. And then over here for FM Pone would be the artistic and sort of the outlook of the entire thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, occasionally I'll give my opinion on level design, but this is Sal's baby, and I've always felt that way. So like when I first reached out to him, I just want to say thank you. I know it's been like a long time we've been working together.
Hell yeah, there it is.
I just want to thank you.
No, and I also thank you, because you know, without us working together, I don't think the map would be where it is.
Yeah, the map certainly has cemented its place within professional Counter-Strike. I'm pretty sure everyone here can say something, you know, about Cash or playing Cash with your friends or pugging it or losing on it. But more importantly, let's take a look at a comparison right now in real time. This is the first look at the brand new DE Cash. am absolutely flabbergasted, but more importantly, I am excited. Ladies and gentlemen, Cash back on the cards for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. You guys must be so damn proud.
For sure.
Talk to me just right away about, I guess, some of the things that drove some of these changes, right? Was it more community-based? Did you guys go back to the drawing board? Talk to me about some of the changes that we're going to see.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of all of those things. And I know Sean really wanted to do a great job with the retexturing, the renovations of the map. And from what we saw, I think it looks great. It's an awesome job, Sean. And then on the gameplay front, we saw a few opportunities. Like we did want to keep things very similar because we think it works. But there were a few opportunities to maybe inject some more utility usage from teams and give the CTs a few more options, especially around mid and in the A site to play around.
Yeah, there's a ton of more stuff to look at right now, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to send Pone over there to the Weatherman station and take a deeper dive into what is the new Cash.
All right. First of all, thanks, everybody. So the first area I'd like to talk about is kind of the mid-warehouse. I want to give you guys a rundown of, as best as I can, how we kind of go about creating an area like this. So you're going to see a lot of blending here, here, up here. And this is called displacement blending. We're just blending two different textures together to create a believable kind of organic feel to this space. And you'll see a lot more color as well. You'll see a lot more color in areas like this or here that you ever really did before. So these leaves, for example, are individually modeled, which is good for performance if you can believe that. And it also kind of makes it fun to inspect the environment really up close. In these tiles, you know, something you would really expect to see in a Soviet environment. So the next area I'd like to talk about, you may recognize this is the B bomb site. Yeah, we love it. So you're going to see some new stuff here. Keep an eye on this in the show match. Yeah, a little something to keep an eye on. So something like this is authentic Soviet design, very precisely modeled. So you'll see individually modeled leaves again, a lot more color. A lot more color here, displacement blending again, kind of getting more interesting shapes in here. You can see the theme of the level coming through, the weapons cache, and the fact that it's still being used as like a target range. You can see that the basic structure of the B-bomb site is pretty much the same. But there are some new stuff thrown in there. So this is one of my favorite areas. This is, yeah, all right. Thank you, New York. So you'll see more color. That's a big one for me. You'll see this teddy bear. Maybe we can sell these one day. Valve, I don't know. Just putting it out there. That's also an authentic design from Pripyat, which is a town located very, very close to Chernobyl. It's where the workers lived. And you can see the vistas that we're trying to incorporate a lot more of these into the level so you can see out into the world and you just have more of a sense of place and give you something to look at while you're shooting heads. All right, last area here. I know you guys want to see the show match, so I'm going to make it quick. Just a lot of displacement blending going on everywhere, a lot more colors, individually modeled leaves, and let's watch people shoot people on this level, right? Let's go back to Stunner.
Yeah, I mean, beauty is one way to describe this map so far. All of the green in the world. I guess just looking at Cash, knowing what it's been in the past, what are you expecting from it now?
I'd say we're expecting a lot more interesting strategy around mid and just a lot more opportunity for CTs in mid.
Yeah, and I just can't wait to see how the community adapts to it, how the pro teams adapt to it. That's what I'm most looking forward to. Yeah, and the thing about new maps is, right, we're going to watch a show match here in a second with some of the world's finest talent. But in reality, once these teams do get those times to practice on this map, that's when we're going to see some of the cool, innovative stuff. I think that's something that you're both eagerly awaiting to see, hey, what needs to be adjusted. There will be changes to this map in the future, or is this where we want to stick? I mean, we're always keeping a finger on the pulse, playing the map ourselves, listening to the pros. And we actually had the opportunity to sit down with some pros here, and we've been taking notes. And so there's a few things that we might tweak as well before the official release date.
Well, today is the day that we do bring you DE Cash, and we got to have some commentators. It's going to be very important that I mention that Sal will be joining the commentators over there during the show match. But I need to introduce the commentators. How about a round of applause for Henry G and Machine, who have their own opinions on Cash? What do you guys think?
Oh my goodness, does that look beautiful or what, Alex? You've got that luscious green environment, something really aesthetically pleasing to look at now. Cash was a little bit grey and bland before, but now it really has got an exciting feel to it. And I love the fact as well, they're talking about CT mid-advantages now. I felt like that was such a stifling area before for CTs. Yeah. Now you have access points and places to actually use utility and actually position yourself more advantageous.
Henry, I've spent so many evenings with you saying a Machine solo mid, and I'm sitting there on sandbags.
It's not the best outcome.
Sweating profusely,
no.
Molotovs, flashbangs. It's going to be interesting to see how things change. And of course, you know, we got a couple of sneak peeks from FM Pone's breakdown of the additional changes they made. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what the players learning during this match. They are going to be finding things halfway through the match, halfway through their CT side, that will completely change the pace.
Yeah, we're going to make sure we hype this one up as much for you guys as well. And like Trace has said, Sal's going to be joining us. I think he sold himself a little bit short in his little introduction there. He is one of the most legendary Counter-Strike players from the North American region. Team 3D, playing a K-Sharp back in the day. I was a player I used to look up to a lot. He inspired me to become a professional player. So give him a round of applause, guys. Volcano and FM Pone did a great job for us. It's been an awesome show match. We'll throw it back to those guys and we'll see you there.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, that's right. A round of applause was in order and much deserved. You guys have done so much, not just for the competitive community, but also the casual gamers for just CSGO. And that is something that I personally want to thank you for. Right now, I think it's just about the time that we take a look and see how this was all made possible. an amazing display right there. We're about to get so much more in New York. I know you're ready for some cash. I'm ready for some cash. But let me ask you guys, just looking at some of the tools you were using, how long did it take you guys to come together and really put this thing in the map today?
I would say it was about 1 year, 5 days a week, starting from about 10 or 11 in the morning till about 3 or 4 in the evening. In the morning, I should say. 3 or 4 in the morning.
Okay, Sal, same?
Not quite as extreme as Sean. But, he did the heavy lifting on this.
Okay.
But yeah, I came into the process a bit later with some of the design stuff.
So a final question I'm going to have for you guys is this. You brought a lot of elation. You brought a lot of happiness right now. Just seeing the feedback from the audience here, what we're going to go read on the forums here and the other. How does that feel to you guys?
Well, we're a very small part of this. It's really about the players, and I think, I try to remind myself about that throughout the process. It's about the players. We're doing this for them. We want you guys to have fun and enjoy this.
Yeah, we're excited, but ultimately at the end of the day, we just want the community to enjoy this.
Yeah, and I'm damn sure that we will. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the creators of DE Cash. We do have a special treat, being that a show match is ready to be played, and I do believe Mr. Borg is on the stage.
You do believe right. I am excited about this for many reasons. A, it is a great appetizer ahead of what's going to be a great grand final. But secondly, I love a show match. We get a rock star band of all-star players, give them 2 completely average coaches and find out what happens. And especially on a map like this, brand new to ESL One New York, the fact that we're going to get them playing it, learning live with this new mid-control, it is going to be fascinating to watch. So, my friends here and anybody watching at home, this is going to be a treat. Let's bring out the teams. First to enter the stage here in the Barclays Center. Welcome, Team Squeaky. Elige, Kenny S, or Kenny as I like to call him, Tarek Config, and Twist as well. All managed and coached by Chad Birchall. He knows what he's doing on Cache. And they will be taking on Team Toxic. Stewie 2K, Ethan, Nitro, Steel, and Jax. Coached by my favorite nothing, Jordan Gilbert. So 2 teams taking it out on Cash is about to happen here at ESL One New York. Once again, let's hear it for your show match teams. Right, I believe I'm going to get a chat with a couple of people. That would be Elige. Come talk to me. So you've not played this yet, have you, this map?
No, not yet.
So what's it going to be like then, learning these new points? Because I think you've seen a couple of videos about it. What's it going to be like learning a new map as you play it?
I think it's going to be pretty fun. Like, it's pretty much the same as old Cash, but just like a little, couple of new things like mixed in there. And I think that we're all going to be taking advantage of that.
As Chad said to me before we came out onto this stage, he said North Americans are demons at Cash. Is this true?
Yeah, I mean, Cash has been our home map for years. Like, we're just going to be able to take it to him. I'm going to be IGLing, going to be leading everyone to it. And we're going to win it.
You're going to smash up Jordan's team?
Yeah, of course.
Give me a score prediction.
It's going to be, we're probably going to lose pistols because we have 2 local players, they have 2 local players. We're both going to lose pistols, maybe 16-6.
I'll take that, interesting. And then, if we come over this way, you've seen the videos as well. What do you think of the new Cash?
I think it looks pretty good. I think there's a few changes that it's going to make. Thank you. I think there's a few different angles that make the map a little bit more viable for the CTs, increase the playability of it, and there's always the ability to have all the creative ideas flowing still.
What do you think of the look as well? It's lush and green and verdant and alginous.
I think it's a little too green. I think it's too vibrant. I think it needs to be done.
It can't be too vibrant.
No. I think like if you have digital vibrance on, it's a bit too green, but I think if they dial that down a bit, I think it's actually really cool.
It's not easy being green. Give me a score prediction.
Score prediction? Well, first of all, we're Team Toxic, right? So I have to give something negative about the map. And the score, 16-14.
I look how you looked at your own team first just to see, oh yeah, we're going to do all right. Listen, thank you very much. Get on there. I'm excited to see you learn this. So then, join your team. We're ready to go. Right then, ESL One New York. First time this has been played. We've got an all-star lineup. average coaches, as I said. Let's hand it over to two of my favorite people in the whole world. That is Henry G and the Machine.
Oh, thank you so much, OJ. This is going to be a blast, getting to see Cash. And not only that, I'm doing it with Henry, and I'm doing it with Volcano. What a treat. This is a first time for me.
Yeah,
it's going
what
to be
an
exciting.
honor for me to be here. You know, what better place to have my first cast than the stage here at ESL 1 New York?
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? It couldn't get much better.
I'm going to do some housekeeping. I'm going to tighten your headset because you're going to be jumping around, getting all excited.
There we go.
That's going to feel more comfortable. Put that there.
Wonderful.
Lovely. Now we're all cooking. We're cooking with gas.
So let's have a look at the teams here before we jump into things. We've got the boys with Config, Elige, Kenny S, Twist, and Tarek. That's going to be Team Squeaky. Pretty strong team, if you ask me. Not bad at all. But I have got a bit of a sweet spot for myself for Steel. I like him. I feel like he's a smart dude. We've got Stewie 2K. He's got Nitro there as well. That's a very, very strong team. Ethan in the mix as well. That for me, that's the winning team. Team Toxic as well. I hope they're going to be giving some banter and showing us what they can do because that's an exciting team on paper. And it looks like they'll be starting on the T side. But Sal, we mentioned it in the kind of pre-game for this one, that you've really focused on the CT mid area, right? Trying to give them more options going into this one. And we're going to kick things off with Knife Rounds. We can talk about this a little bit more. What have we actually seen? We saw that new platform towards middle with the window there. Is that going to be a massive talking point going forward into this game?
Right, yeah, and the interesting thing here is we have Kenny S starting on CT. So
Exactly.
I think a bunch of these new angles will really favor his op.
That's going to be interesting.
I'm looking forward to seeing him up on that window, and then on the A retakes, getting on the truck, having that sight line towards quad. I think that's going to be pretty big.
That does seem massive. It means like you can play a lot more retake mentalities towards the A side if you want to. Having angles towards the A side, you can actually spot the cross. So from the truck, we saw that. You can look towards the bomb side and see if anyone's crossing towards the quad. And also the massive factor for me there is the fact you can Molotov now from CT side over towards the top of quad. That seems like a massive asset for the CTs now.
Yeah, I think that'll help on retakes quite a bit. And there's also a new box on the truck wall, so they can use that for cover as well with duels towards fork.
That's such a good point because that was just an absolute dead zone for you if you got caught in that position. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are ready to go. I hope you're excited. We have got one hell of a show match for you. The inaugural showing of D-Cash. Let's get excited. Let's show Sal how much this means to us. Cash money, baby. We're getting into the game now. The first show match ever on it. Alex, take us away.
Let's jump in. A quick roster rundown for you as well, because it's star-studded on the left-hand side of your screens. Jax from G2, Ethan from the Evil Geniuses, Liquid in Force with Stewie and Nitro and Steel, a North American curveball to round out Team Toxic. For Squeaky, we have Kenny S, Twists, Elige, Config, and Tarek. And we're about to be jumping into our very first round of the brand new Cash play. And as always, we start with a boost.
Oh, we saw this jump before. Stewie 2K doesn't land it, though.
You were saying, Volcano, you tried to make that a little easier.
Well, so that part's still the same difficulty, but the second step is
The second step is easier.
And this is actually a little bit of what I expected. I think, nice kill by Stewie there. I was expecting CTs to play a retake.
Oh my goodness, we'll get some game sound as soon as we possibly can, but for now, Stewie, he's got the first frag and is causing pressure. New angle found by Jax on the box enables him to hold main rather passively now, can fall back on towards the site. Two players pushing in from highway. We do have another arrival. This time Twist fills the feed. 3 versus 4 and equalizing. And let's see if you can find that new angle. So you can plant safe, and that's the cross. Okay, and you can then respond with a Molotov in kind.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, we do have a 3-on-3 situation. There is a kit available for Steel. He's got the smoke as well. I'm sure that will come into play. You can see these new angles as we make our way towards the retake now. It looks absolutely beautiful. You can see that open side towards the right, and it's going to be up to Elige with a double stack towards quad here, trying to bait in his teammate the best he can. Now, will they suspect it? Ethan certainly seems to think so. The knives are coming out. Is it going to be delivered? The first round delivers a knife kill, and it's going to be down to Config. What has happened here? 2 knives in 1 round from the same players. 4 kills for Ethan, 2 stabs in the back.
Round 1, baby, let's go.
Yep, that's one way to get a first pistol round in on Cash.
The first ever round. That's insane. Oh, my goodness. Well, it's Team Toxic living up to their name now.
Yeah, analyze that one, Chad. My goodness, that's funny.
Damn.
Smiles on their faces. Good to see a smile on Stewie's face.
They've taken a tactical timeout already. They're like, you know what? This is not good enough.
Yeah, you got to regroup after that. And he's got an extra $3,000 in his pocket.
That's a good point.
Are we going to see a round 2 op or something?
That's true. We will.
Totally
we have to.
happen.
It has to be maybe an auto sniper. I feel like that could be like the really kind of rub salt in the wounds at this point.
And now we're speaking of auto snipers. Perfect time, given the timeout, to talk about the fact that there is a little bit more wall bangs going on in Cash. We saw an example in that video. You're keeping your eye on these wall bangs.
Yeah, definitely keeping an eye on it. There are a number of them throughout the map. I think some of them might be pretty cool and spice things up a bit, but we do want to monitor them.
I was right, it was the auto sniper. They've gone straight for it.
There we go.
Round 2,
That's
Dak
it.
Dak.
Nitro brought out the auto sniper. I think Ethan dropped it for him. He's taken the FAMAS, and Nitro's got, give me the auto sniper. He said about the wallbang potential.
Yeah.
What a weapon to really demonstrate that. Let's see if we can keep it on Nitro and see what he's up to. He's gone towards the shell 4 sniper window towards middle. You can see the angle now. It's very difficult to smoke that one off with the T side, so they might be in for a bit of a surprise here. He only gets the 1. Great shot from Twist to respond.
Oh, and I can't wait to see more from this side. The squeaky part of the map is just gorgeous, and a flank from Jax. He hasn't got the weapon for the job, still tapping away, and he will retreat back towards the teddy bear and the brand new squeaky.
Well, that's lovely. That squeaky door area is beautiful to look at. And we'll see now, that big slowed down. It's a 4 versus 3. The Dak Dak has been picked up by Steel. A classic angle there from Ethan. You can see this locker position. This is A main as Kenny S comes in with the scout. No strains to this position as Steel holds up towards CT. Going to be jumping up. You can see there's angles now available to the CTs. It allowed them to actually challenge a little bit more towards A main instead of holding passive crossfires as Jax continues to do damage with the MP9. There's just kills all over the place here, and it will be Team Toxic running away with this one so far. Now, we haven't seen much aggression with the CTs yet, very early days, Sal. Is that something you've tried to keep within the map, those options on the CT side to go for pushes, and that's something that's quite unique to Cash, I think?
Yeah, for sure. I think it is an important bit in level design, having those options for CTs to be able to get aggressive, especially if something's going wrong elsewhere on the map. Gaining territory and getting a foothold into the map elsewhere is important.
I feel like that's one of the reasons I loved casting it so much, especially when you had some legendary in-game leaders on there. Whenever you watch Karrigan's team play this map, they always had the great offensive approaches on the CT side. Instead of just playing default setups and changing things up, you could push towards A main, you could take control of B storage and push them right back and funnel them into the other side of the map. Other maps don't let you really have that potential. We talked about this before, like Dust 2 doesn't really have many options for those sort of pushes, but Cash certainly does. You can overwhelm your opponents by pushing them out of that area, deep incendiaries to lock off rotations, and it's very exciting to see that always on Cash. I'm really interested to see how that develops as the map evolves.
One thing I'm noticing from these 2 rounds is Team Squeaky, they don't really seem to be running a default. Like Stewie pushed through mid on that pistol round and got that big flank.
Yeah.
I forget who it was last round, but they pushed through Squeaky, and that went completely unchecked.
Oh, it was Jax.
Jax, yeah. So I think they're going to, maybe they're regrouping here, but they're probably going to want to spread out into a default.
There's going to be some holes, definitely, as they go for those big plays. Good to see you all in force for the show match. I think something that I'd like to ask about now, this is going to be an interesting one, forklift. It's a polarizing opinion. A lot of people have opinions
I knew it was
about
coming,
Alex.
I knew it was coming.
I only took 2 rounds, Henry. I have to get these words out of my mouth.
It looks the same, but cleaner, I guess.
Did you tidy up Fork? A lot of people struggle with the angles. It feels like everyone's immune to bullets around that area.
So we did a bunch of work. The model has been revamped. It should be a little bit cleaner. It shouldn't block as many bullets. It shouldn't block the player models as much.
Yeah.
And the terrain around it, we also kind of raised that up. So if somebody were crouching right behind it,
so visibility's improving.
Yeah, so their body is a little bit higher, so you see more than just their head.
Okay, nice.
And we focused on the readability back there. But yeah, it's something we're keeping an eye on. We know it's a pretty contentious point, but it is also a pretty iconic area. The map. It's such a great call out. So.
And so many huge plays made from it. I mean, it would be sad to see the Fork disappear. I can't believe I just said that. Yeah.
Well,
it would be sad, perhaps.
We're doing our best to make the gameplay around it as pristine, like as great as it can be. Yeah.
We are going to be taking an opportunity to fix the game sound so we can enjoy the show match to its absolute best. So we appreciate all of your patience. We're going to quickly refresh our memory with a pro tip from Cash before we jump into the rest of the show match.
Hey Future Pros, we're back and this time with the new Cash. It's been fun running around looking for new stuff, but for now let's teach you a new incendiary that you can do on this version of the map. This is an incendiary that you can throw from the truck to quad on the A side. To throw this incendiary, hop up onto the roof of this truck. Aim along the left line of the crane in line with the bottom of this transformer. Shift walk forwards and throw the incendiary immediately. If you've done everything correctly, then quad should be on fire. This was previously not possible on the old Cache, so I know you will find a use for this incendiary.
Well, I'm definitely stealing that one. Thank you. Shout out to Rush, who was given access to Cash in order to create all that wonderful content for us. But the question that bounces off of the back of that is, during your job, during level design, do you towards the end stages find yourself running around trying to, theory craft how the nades will be thrown? Is that something you take into consideration during design?
Definitely, and it's not even towards the end. And maybe this is my background as a pro player coming in, but I
Certainly.
just can't help myself. I jump on the map and I spend hours just trying nades, wall bangs, different setups.
Right. You want to kind of break your map almost.
Yeah, for sure, because you want to know how it's going to play. And then with that insight, you can maybe make tweaks like, oh, it would have been cool if I could have mollied this.
Right.
And what sort of adjustment would it take to allow that to happen?
Do you actually put intentional markings on the map to allow people to have reference points for their
Great
lineups?
question.
So yeah, so we do keep that in mind. Sometimes it's incidental, like,
Yes,
oh, this
exactly.
crack on the wall, you
Yep.
aim at that. But I think we have gone back and added some decals and things like that to, like, I think, the path leading up to Squeaky,
Yes.
where all the nades are thrown.
Yep.
I think we had put some extra antennas and things there.
Nice. Okay, that's always cool because it's set pieces
We're
on
back,
Cash were quite
baby.
iconic. And yes, welcome back. You're just joining us. This is the first ever show match here, or first ever game played on the new version of Cash. You can see it's luscious and green. There's new opportunities, and we do see a push towards middle. The jump has been landed by Stewie this time as he makes his way down. This could be absolutely colossal. He pushes round. He's only good for one. The P250, no armor, is what takes him down. Elige is ready and waiting, and it will be a quick 4-on-4. It actually helps out the T's quite a lot now, as they've actually got an AK-47.
Config in the server as well. Didn't quite go well for Optic, but it always a threat. Okay, Kenny's got the deagle and catches Jax's aggression. We talked about that mid-round aggression on Cash, always a big part of the play. Nitro boosted up, and he's got the perfect weapon for the job. Round 3 with the auto sniper. Tarek's got another one. Team Squeaky, they're making these unarmored sidearms work. Elige in trouble, though. Ethan going to be stabilizing for him. He still hasn't died, and it will conclude 3-0.
Well, there we have it. That's a really nice round from Team Toxic. We did see that jump nailed by Stewie there. As you mentioned, the first jump's just as difficult, but he seemed to make very light work of it. Nice access point. One question I wanted to ask you with the T truck towards their spawn area, is that the same angle you can still boost on that look towards the white box?
So it's slightly different. It's a little bit lower profile because
Okay.
with the addition of the new window in mid, the sightlines there are a little bit different that we had to consider.
Sure.
But with the boost on top of that truck, you'd still be able to get some visibility.
Excellent. That was always a fun boost to come in. Speaking of fun, Stewie 2K has picked up an interesting weapon here. I think he's got the Negev out, so that's always a lot of fun to see that being brought into the mix. And there it is, the mid window there. You can see even if you smoke towards the Z halls, you still have full vision on the CT side. Lovely shot from Kenny. Bit of an iconic Cash sniper for sure as he opens things up towards Ethan.
Gosh, jumping to Steel's POV, and I'm like trying to process where I am in the map. Okay, pushed up on B by Toxic, appropriate given the team name and the player. And we'll see. It was a joke. I love Josh. Let's all be friends. Come on.
He says.
He says, biting his tongue.
Well, the smoke's towards A main there. And interesting, we saw in the pre-game for this, you can actually smoke towards a mid-entrance from the B bomb side now from Checkers, correct? So there's lots of options to back up your teammates now, have less players potentially towards middle, right? Well, speaking of less players, it's going to be Stewie 2K mowing them down. It's the M249, I believe. So that's doing great work as we get into a 3 versus 2 now. It's up to Jack to try and salvage the situation, making his way through towards A main. And it will be player towards Forklift. Bomb planted in the default spot. I believe we have one player towards quad as well. He's going to have to step up here. First kill should be no problem whatsoever. Twist didn't see it coming. Tarek now AK-47 in hand, trying to take them down, but he's got problems ahead of him, but apparently not. Steel completely eviscerated by the AK there. Tarek doing God's work towards MBK. Are we still going to call it MBK, do you think? That remains?
It's going to be a very hard habit to break. It's MBK.
It is, isn't it? It always will be. I think it's been immortalized at this stage.
Yeah.
Oh, there is some little Easter eggs here I can spot.
FM1's dog, Bruce.
Is it really? Well, see if we can get that into the beginning of the next round. There are some Easter eggs creeping around here. For now, it's going to be Kenny S opening things up with a boost towards middle. The M249 spray down.
This second frag onto a lead. I mean, we're seeing a new meta established on Cash here, Volcano. I'm joking. But no, but that is...
There it is.
There's the Easter egg I was hoping for.
Round of applause for Doggo. Lovely. We love dogs here, and
it's time to investigate B, ladies and gentlemen.
It is, and there's lots of new opportunities in terms of boosts here. Stewie won't be using them just yet, but he's doing a lot of damage with that Deagle. Unable to find the frag, Tarek will take him down, and you can see Steel dodging the flames, not quite. He'll take a little bit of damage. Now, is that wallbang potential towards Checker still as potent as it was before?
Yeah, that should remain the same.
Did you just kill one there as well? Did Steel get it? I think he did.
Got config. And there's more wallbangs coming in. The lineup was always a bit janky. Still has the lineup in his mind,
there's the new boost there.
this is the new boost.
Yeah, I think this boost really shines for Ts, particularly when CTs are going to be trying to retake.
So a post-plant situation there. So you can see Kenny S trying to join him with the fun. He might get more than he bargained for, though. They're not checking Tarek's position as he starts to mow them down. Oh, it's a lovely round there. I think that's a really interesting point. So it benefits the CTs at the start of the round, but post-plant, if T gets up there, it's a really difficult position to flush out.
So what was always interesting is, like, I imagine that headshot pre-fire was just bread and butter. Get checkers control, you're pre-firing headshot, and then you procedurally clear. Now you're going to have that second guess of from headshot to boost as a potential to clear.
Yeah, and I think it is a bit of a gamble because if you get pop flashed and you're caught up on those pipes, you know, there's not really much to do other than stick it and fight.
Have a go. Yeah, interesting. But for the after plan, it wasn't something I considered when I initially looked at it, just how effective that will be. Tarek was just playing anti-flash up there, and as long as you've got some cover.
We talked about CT aggression and the options available to you. This is a bit of an eco round. You can see two players pushing towards Squeaky. So will the team be aware of this? It was a classic push in the old version of Cash. You can see Nitro and Ethan taking full advantage of it. Jack stopping things up. Lovely deagle shot towards Elige, but they have got mid control on the team Squeaky side. And the CTs capitalize with this backstab coming in towards the mid warehouse. There's Nitro ready and waiting as we do see Ethan not quite finding the frag, but Tarek will be taken down eventually.
Gosh, this is aggressive Counter-Strike all over the place. Take a look at Z. New, of course, lines of sight available. Saw Nitro taking that earlier, but numbers advantage in favor of Team Toxic. Certainly not in the weapons department, though. No Kevlar. Retrieved AK for steal. 3 Ts find themselves in middle. Let's have a look how they choose to approach this last 60 seconds of play.
Well, it's going to be the advantage for Toxic, but it's Kenny S who will take things back to an even level. It's going to be a 3 versus 3. Steal removed, and this was the eco, remember, for Toxic, so they don't really have a lot to work with, but it's not slowing them down whatsoever. Jax gets the second deagle frag. A bullet to the dome of Kenny S will give them the advantage now, but Twist and Config still alive and kicking. Twist with 100 HP, and they're going to try and pincer towards the A side. Config using the routes towards Highway as his teammate holds towards A main. The problem is they are separated. The bomb's on the back of Config, who's got low HP. If he gets dropped here, then a lot of trouble, and it will be a scout tag from Nitro as he finishes things off.
Just Config, no HP. Admittedly, his teammates or his opponents don't have armor. He has a chance. It's a headshot angle. Jax finds it, and the fist bumps are in. Another one on the board for Team Toxic.
Well, there we have it. 4-2. Team Squeaky need to pull their socks up here. So one thing that's always been said about Cash is one of the few maps in the pool we could actually say was T-sided. It was by a few percent, I would say, but do you feel like that's going to be the same outcome in this new version?
It's difficult to predict, but I think there are quite a few things that do benefit the CTs here. Like on that topic as well, like if it's T-sided or slightly CT-sided, like, I'm okay with those slight imbalances because I think it is good for the map pool if all of the 7 maps have a little bit of unique flavor to them. But within reason, like you never want it going too extreme.
Yeah. No, I think it's great that the CTs have a bit more viable approaches towards middle, especially. That was always, for me, the most difficult area to contain. You'd have to have 3 CTs there with set smokes and really good synergy. There's a classic boost there, the old Shroud spot.
Yeah, is the lamp that you can, above the door, can you still get onto that angle as well?
You can still get onto that, and on the Shroud boost, there used to be like a pole in that corner that restricted your movement. You couldn't get flush with the wall, but we removed that, so now you can hug that corner.
So now you can be fully hidden up there. They can't speak.
They can't bang your toes.
I think that would be hidden now.
Okay, that's
great. You can get a bit closer to the wall.
Excellent. Well, Ethan, I should say, get the HEs towards the A main position. There it is, on top of the lamp. Doesn't last long, but down he goes.
At least we get to see a proof of concept. Config battling on B. It's a difficult fight to take. In the meantime, A does look to be working out for the CTs. 2 frags, leaving Elige and a rather...
That's a cheeky one.
Oh, hello. That's new. Doesn't work out for Ethan. Elige gets an easy frag, and this round is far from over. Stewie on the I was going to say retake, but we will see, of course, if he chooses to advance early. Yes, a new box to play with as well towards the truck wall. Bomb down. What utility do they have? Maybe. Steel's been watching the tutorial. Get that Molotov towards quad. It's bullets that do the work. It's Nitro to finish it.
Lovely stuff. I really like that box towards the CT wall as you're retaking, because before, if one flashbang came over, your only option was hold left and just run to the wall and hope for the best.
Yeah, and a lot of times you wouldn't really want to leave the safety of the truck until your teammates.
Exactly.
If you get caught out with the pop, you're as good as dead.
Yep.
But now you can get one guy, get some foothold in there while your team's rotating.
I must ask, is that box spammable at all? If you're a T-side and you think someone's behind there, can you wallbang this box? Is that
definitely
safe
the
cover?
corners can be shot through. I would have to double check if the whole thing can be shot through.
It looks like it with the barrel there as well as especially, it looks like if you just tucked yourself
Yeah,
in,
if you hug behind the barrel,
you'd be
you'd
fine.
be fine.
Yeah, that's interesting because that was just such a classic. You try and rotate into the bomb site, one flash would come over, and that would be it for you. Just have to hold in the corner and hope for the best.
That exchange between the first tee out on fork with the clearing of truck and the truck wall, going to be a bit of a different exchange now, and we're into another round of play. Team Toxic have a firm lead. Good spray coming out from Ethan. Damages up 2 of the advance straight through mid. They have got their mid smoke still working. And Nitro's already found a jump peak for info. Aggression from Config punished and traded. Did find Ethan in the meantime, though.
So that's exactly what I wanted to see. You can see the classic Z smoke deployed there, but there's still an option for Nitro to be part of the round. He's not completely eradicated now, so that's excellent to see him able to get 1 kill. He's not in too much danger. There's still a chance for him to kill him, but his aim can prevail as Tarek will push through the smoke. He'll expect lots of this. A 3 versus 2. Steel's got to hold on. He's got the Krieg in hand, but not for long. Elise will take care of him, and Jax has had a decent game so far. AWP will be trying to make his way towards the B side. Great first shot, and now he's actually given himself a proper chance there against his teammate Kenny S, waiting towards the B bomb site itself. Flashbang comes in. He avoids it for now. He's got a kit available, but 2 players to find.
See if he can give us a simple impression. For Elise, timing's not great. Has a go, but Elise will secure the 3rd for Team Squeaky.
Excellent stuff.
Okay.
One thing I want to point out there, too, is we saw Nitro up on that window, the shelf position.
Yep.
And he started getting wall banged through by the T's once they suspected he was up there.
Okay, so how much is that doing, significant damage there, or is it just enough to kind of dissuade him from that position, would you say?
It seems like just enough to dissuade him.
Yeah.
I think he took a headshot
like 2
there.
bullets or
and
something?
Yeah, and he dropped down to about 30, 40 health.
That's perfect, though, right? Because, you just want to get that sort of position, not holding it for the entire interaction. You just want to get 1 kill, drop down, and just kind of slow them down and make things a bit more problematic for them. So we're going to see more of a mid-focus here from the CTs on their force spike. Auto shotgun towards middle. Config's got his work cut out for him. He's doing a great job so far, though. Drops down, and it's the Zeus from Stewie. He gets the AK-47, and now he's cooking with gas.
That's one way to do it. It looked so good from Config's POV until Stewie arrived with the Zeus. Ethan's 5-7 in the feed as well. Kenny, aggressive out of main. He's going to have more than perhaps he bargained for. He does fall back just a little bit. Could have got caught on the cross. Still thriving. Stewie on the cross as well from Highway. Oh, and eliminated his teammate. Not today. Finds his head.
Oh, that's a filthy little shot from Twist there. Preemptive towards the connector, and it's going to be Steel to go down. Gets a taste of the AK, and it's going to be Twist to finish things off. That's a very Twist-esque round, Alex, I have to say.
It certainly is.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to call out there is we saw Stewie get that Zeus kill in mid, and he was using the new roof there to his advantage. So if you go to that aggressive spot close to the T mid boost,
yeah.
It used to be a pretty difficult position because you get shot in the head. Yeah, you had to be looking up, looking forwards. So now there's a little bit of cover there.
That's interesting. So it was previously like a pipe, right? A very kind of thin pipe. You could still see them.
So the pipe still remains, but it's now got a ledge above it. So you can actually get some decent cover. Even if you're flashed, and sure, you can still be Molotov there, but it means you can't just be completely overwhelmed as soon as you're flashed. You're not going to have any cover whatsoever. So that's a nice little change that makes that position a bit stronger on the CT side. That's classic Molotovs being thrown towards middle. I like the fact that the same smokes, the lineups they used to know, muscle memory. I know all the smokes towards middle as well. It seems like everything is just as viable as it was before.
It certainly is. I mean, you just get, the visuals may have changed, but your muscle memory certainly stands.
Oh!
Elite is a robot. No worries. He gets a quick double.
You can see he's still feeling himself there at the end of the round, flicking back and forth as his teammates are TKing him.
That was insane.
We've seen a couple of players, I think Breezy and Elige at this tournament and a couple prior. There's something to do with the Krieg and those guys and their mechanical ability. It just looks ridiculous. Sure, the first is nothing to write home about, but just look how easy that is. What? Easy for him, I should specify. Impossible for most of us.
Well, there we have it. That was a great round. Fantastic work.
Where's that Molly going? He's trying to Molly Z, or perhaps the new one.
Well, they're trying to show mid-presence here. With all the smokes deployed, they're going to go for a fast A attack, trying to keep the presence towards that side of the map, but Jax is having none of it. Lovely work from him to get a couple of kills, and here comes the retake now. Nitro trying to deny everything before they even get close to the bomb site here. At least looks like he's in trouble. He does steal 1 kill away. It's frantic, it's chaotic, but Steel stepping up with the orb, weapon don't see too much of, and now we've got a double orb setup. Now, that was something that was very viable in the old iterations of Cash. Have you had orbs in mind with the redesign here? That any more other angles apart from the mid-shelf that you can think of that the orbs are really going to benefit from?
Yeah, the other big one would be the truck at CT spawn.
Okay, absolutely. That makes sense.
The angle sword squad. That was definitely an Oppers type of angle
Right.
that we're keeping in mind.
Yeah, and one thing we discussed before this game is that the fact that, yeah, sure, those positions are available, and Tees can still do something about it, but it costs them more utility. It's not so much a one smoke and gain access to a bomb site situation anymore.
Yeah, there used to be a bunch of one smoke executes you could do,
Yeah.
and you can still do them, but they won't be quite as effective.
Exactly.
Especially if the CTs are prepared for it. And a lot of times Tees would win a lot of utility engagements, so this should take a little bit more utility out of them.
I was going to ask that Pronax boost towards A main. I was wondering if that was still prevalent. That looks like it's still just as viable as it used to be. So Elise going towards events. We haven't seen much action towards this area. I assume you can still boost in there from the CT side. And there's going to be Nitro holding from the quad. This was a classic setup here. Going to be a bit more passive on A, leave middle open, and just have the AWPer watching towards highway, someone watching the vents, and this enabled them to have mid control. Sometimes you had to do that.
Still equally as effective,
Yes.
clearly. Towards B, though, Stewie's going to be tested. AWP. And 3 players hunting him down. That's the first, misses it. Config, low HP, doesn't matter when the bullets don't connect, and Stewie's in trouble. He's surely not going to get a single frag, and Tarek's along there for the trade. This is Squeaky's site, Squeaky's round. And we can see, gosh, it is beautiful. I've never thought I'd sit here and admire some rotting wood, but that's some nice-looking rotting wood, for sure.
I agree.
Shout out to FMPone. The B site. Iconic for Cash, really.
It does look really cool in there now. The redesign, it looks really aesthetically pleasing. We still have the same window as well. We're not going to see too many technical executions in this particular matchup, but you can still do all the same Molotovs and smokes you were able to do before. I believe the same markings are there. One thing about Cash towards ite's lifespan in the old iteration was the Molotov executions towards the B side were pretty fun to watch. You could have like 3 or 4 Molotov lands all over the site, smokes towards heaven and CT spawn. But I like the fact now we have the boost position in the back of the B side. That won't be as effective, but still viable. You just have to eradicate some certain positions where the CTs aren't completely done for.
I'll give it 5 seconds until Astralis have a molly for that boost. Just straight from sunroom.
Yeah, do you know if that's possible, Sal, to actually Molotov
That's a good
towards
question. I didn't try it, but I feel like it would be possible.
I think it looks like there's
the
enough
bottle
gas
would
there.
break, for sure.
And it would presumably spill down towards headshot as well.
You could do both.
That would be really cool if you could pull that one off.
You put one quite deep so they can't run to CT, and you put one on that pipe to bleed them at the back. They have forced onto the site. It's possible, and will be interesting to see how it continues to develop. A fast peek from Kenny on B. It's a chance, and Nitro receives him. No worries.
Just to ask as well, I'm sure I know. Oh, hold on. Are the spawns exactly the same? Have you adjusted spawn timings?
We didn't tweak any of the spawns.
Okay, well, there we go.
Now we're going to see an exchange from Jax with this new hole in the wall. It makes Twist's advance up highway a whole lot more risky. You have a smoke on Z, you were free. 15 seconds bought, take your highway control. Now he's got to be a little bit more conscious as he exposes himself. Nice catch from Steel with his scavenged away Krieg, and it looks like the CTs are going to be doing a whole lot with a little here. New door.
Oh.
And equal stuff. It looks like a thicker door. I assume the bullet damage hasn't changed.
It might be slightly less.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that would be a good one for me to double check.
Yeah. Because that was always the amount of times we've seen in professional Counter-Strikes.
It was Stewie 2K who played that
so
position.
Good at that,
he would go on the T side or squeaky door and actually somehow get kills through
like
that
fork,
door.
highway.
Like headshots coming through that door. Like it was insane what he was going to do on that position. But there's the 5-7 coming to action. Here we go, Team Toxic and Team Squeaky. Actually pretty level right now. It's 7-6 as we get to the penultimate round, 14. As Jax goes to that mid control, the classic mid smoke to block vision from the likes of Tarek as he tries to get closer and closer. And now he's going to have his work cut out for him, but it's going to be Tarek not checking the close position. And that's just him alone. Or can he have to go for the repeat? You can see him being very aware of the window, but he doesn't seem to be shaken at all. That's a lovely shot towards Jax. 1 bullet, that's all that's required.
Nonsense. Stewie got the line towards main, has the support from Ethan from up high. Jump peeking for the info, everything feels the same. You can see this is all too familiar territory for Stewie as he does catch Kenny. After his early heroics with the AK-47, Twist then looking for a 1 versus 3. North American's Magician, North America's map, 1v3 here in Brooklyn. Does get the first, catches Nitro on the truck, and another Steel Court trying to piece together where the last could be. It is going to be Stewie 2K, misses the shot. Stewie up, he's getting hunted. It's Twist with a 1 versus 3. The first clutch on Cash.
Yeah, that's a big one as well. That's going to sting. It ties things up at 7-7. We'll have a look at the frag charts while we're here, see who's really feeling it so far. Alige, of course, we've seen some unspeakable things from him with the Krieg. He's got 15 and 9. Tarek and Twist both with 11 frags. So they're doing a great job. And we'll see Ethan at the very top for the season.
That's a new angle, isn't it? You couldn't see Truck from from just outside main box before, like the Shroud boost?
Yeah, so that APC has a bit of a slope to it on the edge.
So he's catching Nitro on top of that truck. New headshot angle. to start off that clutch. Now to be still to be tested, honing the scout and doesn't quite connect the shot. Has a second chance, looking to escape. A flash and a smoke deployed as he does Scarpa, but he's in so much trouble. So many people looking for him already. One player does fall on the CT side, Steel soon to be added to that list, and this final round is going to be a quick one, a quick beat take it is, and actually aggression. Stewie ready to receive. Now's his chance, not going to be able to find the double. He shuts me right up. Jax still... he's being hunted. It's a knife battle here in Brooklyn. Kenny will sort things out and leave Stewie in a 1v3. Can he do what Twist did? Would be the ace clutch. I think it's a bit too tall of an order, and it's an 8-7-half. There we go. Hey, you talked about you wanted to see the bias. Well, couldn't be more equal than that.
Well, that was a very entertaining half. It certainly had it all. Knife kills, auto snipers, clutches, and impressive frags. Hopefully more of that after this break.
They told me get one, so I got one. Stop saying you're a boss when you now one. You ain't sacrificed now, you ain't lost none. All over the gram, like you got a bag. You ain't big dog, we ain't here.
Today trying to find ways to make you stay. Sarah, I want to go away, close my eyes, never wake up again. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's Molly for the melancholy. Cody, fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Xannies till I numb my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah. I don't want your empathy, I just want another enemy. I'm not gonna change a thing for you. I'm over middle ground, and I really wanna burn it down. I'm not your friend, and I won't pretend I am. So don't reach out, and I mean that. I'm under siege, and I need you to see that. You're on one side, I'm on another, and we will wage war upon each other. I'm no angel, you're not either. I'm at a fever pitch, you're at a leisurely pace. I'm unscathed, I'm unafraid. A warm welcome to the war game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. A momentous occasion live from the Barclays Center, ESL 1 New York. A grand final to come, but a cash show match right on into the action. Star-studded rosters, Team Toxic, Team Squeaky, and New York. Good afternoon, New York. Are you with us?
Of course
I'll take that as
we're
an
with us.
absolutely. We are going to be jumping into our second half, and I say we, introductions for those of you that have just joined us. We have the legendary Volcano joining myself and Henry G at the casting desk. You've just seen the first half of professional play on this map, the one you've been, you know, not only being your child, as FM Pone put it, but you've been playing with it again, returning to your child and refining your child. I hate this analogy already.
Yeah, you've ran with it.
Thank you, yeah. You had a good half? Enjoy that one?
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be closer. We saw some knife kills, we saw Zeus kills, we saw auto sniper kills, Negev.
That's true.
That's such a good point. The M249 and the Negev, I love to see it. And we've got 2 Deagles here on the T-pistol. A little bit of a boost towards middle as well. What are the CTs and the former Team Squeaky got in store here? They're going to get config towards the vents.
He was thinking about doing the strafe.
Yeah, you can jump up to those rollers. Is that still possible? I assume it is up here, right?
Haven't changed the spacing.
That looks like it's still possible. You can boost up into those. Either way, here comes a Deagle, Stewie 2K, looking to open things up in style. Don't see too many of those these days on a T-pistol, but always very exciting to watch. As you can see, Toxic taking a very tentative approach here. They want to make sure they shut down any CT aggression at the start of the round, and they have no utilities. They're really relying on those Deagles and a bit of a ruse here towards the A site as they set up towards B.
Yeah, good catch. Kenny onto Nitro, but towards B they go, and it's completely wide open. Jax has already aggressed. Catches them towards the Speedway, and now 2 from Vents. This is going to be an interesting exchange for Jax. He's already been eliminated, and for now, 4 versus 3. The CT's on the retake, having no trouble. Config and Kenny. Steel fights one back, and Stewie, no armor on that Deagle, but he still finds the head. Leaves Steel all alone, doesn't even have a chance to show his POV. The CT's, despite the site being taken by Toxic, have no issues on the retake.
Yeah, that's interesting, considering they got the open side essentially there, got the kill towards spawn as well. They still fall apart as the retake comes in. It is going to be Squeaky getting the lead here in the second half, 9-7, and they're on the CT side now. I would say it's the more favored side in terms of when you win the knife, and you still want to kind of start CT, but a lot of people would say it was always a slightly more T-sided map, but it felt more comfortable kind of organizing things and allowing your opponents to plan their attack against you. But here's the retake coming through. Kenny S, he's looked great in this show match so far. He's had a fantastic tournament here in New York. And we'll see the Force Spy coming in the second round. This is today's game. We see this almost every single time the bomb's planted in the T-pistol. If you lose it, they will be buying up with rifles in the second round. Luckily, the rifles are there on the CT side as well. Elise, beautiful shot towards Ethan.
And so that new window is kind of a counter position to the T-boost.
Right.
That's a good point, because before you didn't, it was so difficult to challenge. You could sit towards Z, but they're going to pre-fire that every time, and now you've got 2 angles. You can't just run up there as a T and now just pre-fire one spot. There's 2 angles to look at now.
And right? I mean, I'm already envisioning the powerful crossfires. Actually, taking a look at Stewie's perspective, you can jump for that info at least. But the idea of having someone, perhaps sandbags holding that side of the box, and then having someone just holding that vent cross. I mean, there is so many opportunities to hold middle in new and refreshing ways. New box, of course, on this wall. It gives Elijah a little bit of an eye line over the precipice of that smoke. 2, maybe 3 crossing in soon. 19 frags from Elijah. Oh my god, he dinked another one. Nitro, just 10 HP. He still wants to push in, still aggressing all alone. 1-man army, still going. Finally, silenced by Nitro. He's got more to do though. Left alone with 10 HP, 2 to find. Admittedly, they're tagged. He's got a shot bomb down. Not even gonna have an opportunity. Config ready and waiting for the swing on quad.
So on top of that new box where he was there, it's a pretty strong spot, but you have to really be careful of A main. And so in his case, he was using the T smoke against them.
Yes.
But I wonder if T's are going to adapt where they place their default smokes because of that. Just something to keep an eye on.
Because the default smoke was between the box and fort, right? That kind of separator that enabled them to just sneak out main from the truck angle.
Well, then it will be 10-7. They're going to be force buying again as we've seen them go 2-0 down. There's going to be bursting up with scouts, a Krieg, Deagle, and a PC-50. It's not looking good, Alex.
You know what? I think that was Jax's call.
Yeah, he's just like, you know what, boys.
Well, he's French, right? That's the French. That's how the French used to play Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it's true. So he'll be going for the pick towards middle. The wallbang's still there. There were some really fun wallbangs on this map. You remember the 147 shot you could shoot towards connector. Is there anything like that you've intentionally put in? Any things you're hoping people would find? Or?
Well, so that one is still there.
It's still going?
So now you can smoke CT or T-mid from CT in the Z through the window.
Okay, cool.
And so there's less reason to run out exactly at 149
Exactly,
to throw
okay,
the
that
smoke.
makes sense, right. So it's still possible to bang that, but it's not necessarily going to be happening too often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost completely forgot about those spawn wall bangs all the way through to Z. Out main goes Steel. Connects.
Oh, they're pulling this one back.
Looking no worries at all. Config's not really got the weapon or the health for the job. Confirmed by Steel. Nice hold, nice frag on towards him. 8 to 10, the scoreline. Double digits reached for Team Squeaky. So you saw the change in well, no, I just saw them thinking live. The first round, the round prior, Stewie was jump peeking with a scout, realized the angle needs a boost, gets the boost and holds that line. And now we're gonna be seeing some procedural changes as this match concludes, as they try and find a way to well, deal with the new window.
I mean, they're all seeing this for the first time, so they're problem solving on the go.
Exactly, it's fun to watch.
Oh, here comes the B push. The Bizon is out as well. It's Stewie 2K that can't connect the dots. He does a little bit of damage out towards Twist, who picks up the one of the most useless weapons in the game, I would say. But it's got 64 bullets, but it's like BB pellets.
No, it's, yeah, 64 packing peanuts.
Yeah, exactly. He realizes it's not looking good, but it is a nice distraction for Tarek to come in and take down Nitro. Wow.
Remain, Tarek, he did something rather absurd. Double kill with his deagle, he won't be caught. In fact, he actually wants another one. Swings back out, dealt with by Jack, so there's so many, he's dealing with it. Finally shut down by Kenny's repositioning. Doesn't connect. Ethan left in a 1v2. Oh, he had to go. Just whistles past the ear of Elige and a roar from the crowd and indeed the team.
It looked like Jax was totally caught off guard by the new position there.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't even considering it because he's got the adrenaline pumping. His muscle memory's going. He's got his first 2 frags.
Before you were thinking about Sandbag, Z, and White Box, right? That was your kind of your 3 targets. With the extra one there as well, and you can't really do too much to smoke out that CT window, right? Like it looks like the angle will be a little bit more difficult. There's no set smoke from what I can see. These guys will know for sure, but it looks like the CT will always have that angle available to them from what I can see so far. Presumably you could throw a Molotov while running into that position to guarantee control, but it doesn't look like you can do much from the outside near T
from the get-go.
Yeah, to actually lock that one off.
Is that something that you've been checking to see how easy it is to lock down that window with utility?
Yeah, so you can definitely throw a jumping Molotov from the T-boost, behind the T-boost.
Yeah.
And with the Molotov, you can basically smoke anything at that point.
Sure, so as long as you get smoke on that flames, but that's a huge investment of utility, so at least there is a price to be paid for removing that vision.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And just to be clear as well, all skyboxes remain the same. So the execution smoke from outside the A side towards Squeaky, they're still just as viable as they were before.
So one point to mention is the building between the T side of A and the CT side. That building has been lowered.
Yes.
So any existing smoke should still be possible, but new ones might also be available.
That's cool.
As well.
Okay, that's really awesome. Well then, here's going to be Elige and Config taking the advantage here. They have got an 11-8 lead so far. It's Jax and Steel to try and pick up the pieces. They've got an AK and a Krieg. Relatively healthy, still down to 86, makes his way out the Squeaky door. Smoke down, and it looks like he'll be dropped as well. 4 versus 1. Jax has been playing very well indeed. 16 kills to his name. Coming through Z here, but he's been out-positioned and presumably taken down. Tarek doesn't make the cleanest of kills, but they all count, and it will be a solid lead now. The money should be in absolute tatters on the T side, but they're not shy of the force by Alex. I'm not even going to suggest they're going to take an eco there.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing a single eco here in this show match. Team Toxic starting to dig themselves into a hole. Ethan confirming he fancies his chances with the scout. Seeing a lot of Spider-Men in the crowd. More frags from Elige. He hasn't had many poor performances here in New York.
Looks like we got an op out of Kenny, so let's see how he handles these new angles.
Perfect. You said you were hoping to see it. Elige, though, aggressive into main. No worries. He wants to get this done.
Yeah, so that's a really powerful incendiary. If you can get that down on the CT side, I mean, if you have full control of A main, especially that bomb down, that's going to be a very powerful spot. They're going to rotate everyone down there. They're going to smoke it, incendiary, and these wallbangs before. I never saw many kills in this spot, but I knew the damage was possible. I assume it's the same values in terms of that sort of spam, and it will do some damage, but not an awful lot.
It might not be identical damage, but it should be very similar.
Hello, Tarek.
Another one added to the tally. 3 nice kills in this game to start off the return of DE Cash.
Well, Stewie's got his work cut out for him. 5-on-1. Doesn't look good to say the least. You can't jump through that window. It looks like just a nice little letterbox of death.
Yeah, and that was very intentional to not let people get through it.
That's good. I feel like that would just make things a little bit awkward trying to jump through. Like, there's not really a reason to do so. I guess it would be something you could maybe have a crazy boost on the T side to go through it, but that might be too much.
Can you imagine that? Just somehow triple boosting. Okay, I'm going to stop. Yeah. Just sounds absurd.
Well, yeah, and it would also open a sight line up from that window to the A-bomb site with somebody like hanging off of a ledge.
Of course, yes, that would be too much, yeah. That'd be too much of a strong angle. Nice knife kill from Tarek, you like to see that. The left, right, good night. And now we'll see 13-8 come through. Money started to stabilize though. Toxic did actually take an eco in the previous round. It's a classic play. Ethan using the flashbang to get himself out towards middle. Quick push towards the vents here. He's got to push through so many flames, and it's going to be Config, who's ready and waiting. Actually makes that kill his. And now Jax will bring things back to a 4-on-4. Tarek trying to back up his teammate the best he can. The flashbang's deployed. The swing comes through, but it's not quite enough.
He's on the new lamppost. We'll see if it's going to catch them off guard. They're not going to necessarily be checking this or not. Never mind. Still, he's done his homework. Catches him. Nitro as well on the way into the site, catching Twist. Leaves Kenny miles away. Bomb not yet down, but feels like almost an impossible task. Walking from B. T-side entrance. We're going to follow his sweep. Headshot, the first to check, and bullets already been thrown in his direction. Impossible shot to hit. Just the pixel of his opponent's head, pushed and finished by Steel. He's loving it. I'm sure this is, I mean, you don't get to do this every day. Not only play Cash, but also play with these kind of players on a stage like this, with a crowd like this. It's fun. It's fun to be a part of.
Steel's having a game for himself here, too.
He is. Proven himself, proven his worth. See that again from his perspective. He was ready for that off the box as well to catch Tarek by surprise. So the boost being asked for, Ethan's not interested. We'll see them Twists going aggressive in middle. This was always seen as such a huge risk. Too much changing around this side of the map.
Oh, I like this from Kenny. This is a bold move, the AWP, to push towards Squeaky. If you can make it work, you're in a fantastic spot. He will be taking down Nitro there. Probably doesn't know what the hell has happened to him. And Twist using the incendiary just to retreat from the difficult spot he's found himself in. He's at 46 HP. Toxic still with 3 players alive, looking to find double digits here. Kenny, though, great spot. Falls back from the push he made towards Squeaky, and now he's looking for the cross, and he might have to come into action here as Ethan opens things up.
Kenny, great for the first frag, really awkward for the rest. He's going to have to go aggressive. He invents a brand new flashbang, didn't quite work out, and ooh, I mean, goodness, not far from lining up, but that will be around for the tease, a necessary one to keep things close. It's going to be 13 now to 10. Toxic finding themselves their double digits.
Looks like maybe they're kind of getting their stride here, figuring it
It
out.
seems that way.
Yeah.
Well, how many rounds have they got here on the T side? So it's currently 5-3 in favor of the CT forces. But they've got 2 rounds in a row now, and Steel top fragging, 18 kills. You're right, he is feeling himself. He's rolling back the years somewhat there. And we'll see now with the money completely ruined on the CT side. I feel like we've got a tactical timeout.
Is this from the CTs?
Yeah,
Yes,
Mike
it is.
unmuted.
Oh.
Chad Sponge Birchall going to be given his opportunity.
He's a cash or cache specialist.
He is.
So
does that hurt your ears every time you hear that? His Australian butchering of your, I'm not going to use it again, your map?
You know, I thought people would mispronounce cash, but maybe not in that way.
Cache?
Yeah.
Gross.
A whole nation.
A whole nation.
It's endearing.
Yeah, well, I agree. And it still makes me smile when I hear it slip out, because he's tried to change it. He's tried to call it cash, but when he's getting passionate, Cage does slip out for sure.
Cache is the one I was expecting.
Cache,
yeah.
Paper cache.
Well, you've helped me do loads of really terrible puns about cash, the map, and cash, the money. That was always a nice and easy one, so I appreciate that.
No problem.
Oh, what is this?
Oh,
a
here we
variation?
go.
Oh, that's so cool. So you can boost instead of using the ladder. That gives you like your head peeking up instead of the whole body. That is a really cool idea.
I'll bet you could wallbang that as well. We saw Nitro take some bullets from the other direction.
It looks like the bomb is down towards A as well. So I'm hoping to see some Kenny S action here.
Well, he's got the AWP. His teammates were just Eagles. He's going to have to step up and go above and beyond as he waits towards the CT truck. Remember, you can see the angle now. The player's crossing towards quad. And that's the one we're looking for. That's the AWP angle, and that's lovely. He's going to take Ethan down and still looking for more here. Tarek will back him up. He's going to get a second bite of the cherry. Sui crosses over and pre-firing that position. Kenny will start to reposition here. Steel, who still gets going to go down from the forklift position. Sui 2K taking a little bit of damage there, and it's going to be down to Kenny. Remember, the only player that came into this round with a real weapon. His teammates had Deagles. They took an eco, but here he comes. A classic clutch for Kenny S! Have you ever seen anything like it? That's what we wanted to see with the AWP.
He dies on Old Cash. He's against the wall. There is no cover there.
That's
now
a good
he
point.
has it. Tarek couldn't take the shot. It's a headshot fight for Kenny. Precision, sure. But there you go. Perfect example here in the show match. Let's see it again. First catch, wouldn't be possible. Second, not possible. It's all brand new. Nitro and Stewie getting caught out, and he's feeling himself.
That's a vintage Kenny S clutch. On a map like Cash as well. That's got to warm your hearts out.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to see.
That's exactly what we wanted to see, right?
That's more than we could have expected.
Oh, that could be it, because now they're 14-10 up. That was an eco, essentially. The force buy and Kenny to bring the AWP out. 4 Deagles, no armor. There's 1 Deagle kill there, and a Kenny S 1 versus 3. You just love to see it. Double AWP set up now. It'll be Tarek joining in with the AWP responsibilities. I want to see this boost work out. As you can see, it's just designed to stop that fast approach towards the boost position. Tarek will be landing a shot towards Stewie, looking for match points here as he flashes in Config. Config feeling himself, wants to see if he can open things up. He wouldn't necessarily expect this push. He's done so much damage there.
I mean, there you go. That is something that has changed. That's a fight he could have potentially won earlier due to the wallbang changes, or the texture changes. Material? I don't know what word. I'm not a map designer. Material changes.
Yeah,
Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, man. I made a Call of Duty 1 map once.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How old were you then? Like 9 years old?
Yeah, me and my friend, we just put low gravity on and it was a box.
Do you still have it? I'd love to play it.
Sure, man. Yeah, and we made it so that the bolt action rifle fired a bazooka. We were really having a go.
Let's get on the Steam Workshop.
Yeah, we'll see what I can do. Kenny, not quite going to have the same success he had in the round prior, at least not to start things off. Tagged down to 22. Steel's already out, and this does seem to be a very powerful position. Look at the angle he can adopt. Of course, vulnerable because of his scope to a fork swing, which is exactly where Elish presents himself. Deals with it on top of the sight. It's twists. Headshot angle. Leaves Ethan and Nitro. 40 seconds. Try and make this T-side work. The bullet's overwhelming, certainly towards Squeaky. Nitro left to his own devices. Quick start. Config caught, 30 seconds. And Kenny. Whew. You peak, you lose when Kenny's in the server.
One thing to point out there is we saw Kenny in the highway, and there's these guardrails along each side of highway. And you can get on those to change your height mix up a little bit.
So the pre-fire is a bit...
Yeah, and you can get some different angles looking over the white box towards vent from there.
Oh, I see that now. Okay, I didn't notice that. So you can actually jump on those either side and just have a different
So you can
angle.
peek middle from over the white box on that.
Yeah.
Ah, that's interesting.
That's really cool.
We'll get to see that, I'm sure, whether or not it's now or when it's available. Just a quick reminder, when will the general public have a chance to run around on Cash?
So the plan is on October 10th, it'll be on the Steam Workshop.
Cool. So October 10th, you'll be able to run around and find all of the smokes that the players haven't been able to. Look at Elish. He's got, quote-unquote, the most useless weapon, but still catches Jax. Kenny and Tarek, then, looking to win this one right here, right now, up against 4. Good start. Stewie caught on his push towards fence. They're already starting to forge a path, though, towards B. Tarek a little late to this party, but he's not got the weapon for the job either.
What's he going to do with this incendiary? Yeah.
What's the plan? Jumps through. My goodness, he had a shot. So did Nitro.
Oh, here we go again. Kenny S, 1 versus 3.
Do you believe, Henry?
I am always believing this guy's got the magic stick in his hands. We'll see what he can do with it. It's going to take some heroics here, and that's not a bad start at all. Steel is low as well, dropping the smoke, trying to buy himself some space here. The flashbang to follow it up. He's going to push through it, I believe, but he does not fancy it right now. Going to go for a wallbang potentially as he heads towards heaven here. And now, oh, Steel's been spotted. Oh, it's happening.
Oh, he's so good. Feeling himself, nearly gets it. Steel can't quite believe it, but there's a necessary round for Toxic in order to keep this game going. 11-15.
Damn, well, they had Bizons there on the CT side. That was interesting.
So they've got 4 rounds so far on their T side. Haven't quite been able to figure it out to the same degree.
Well, they've got 4 lives left. Overtime seems to happen in every show match we play.
That's true.
This one doesn't seem to be any different. The Bizons are being caught on the CT side, so they're really going for it.
Let's
3
see how long
Bizons,
this one can
Deagle,
go.
CZs.
Perfect.
In the early days of Go, I actually used to favor the Bison on Ecos because people didn't force buy as much.
It used to be, we used to have an IRC channel called Viva la Bizon in the early days in the beta because it was such a powerful weapon.
Yeah.
It was too strong of anything. But then they just nerfed it to oblivion and made it the worst gun in the game. So what a disparity that was. The P90 was also up there.
That's right, P90 was the rifle.
That was S tier. A tier was the Bizon. It was pretty crazy times. Stewie 2K making light work of the Bizon users here. Team Squeaky really trying to sabotage their own finances and chances of winning the game, it seems.
Yeah, nothing really for the remaining 3 to do. It's just a question of time. Perhaps Kenny can catch Ethan here on the aggress towards Squeaky. It's going to be a double push. Pays off for Kenny, gets himself a rifle. Bomb, however, on the other side of the map, and so is almost the entirety of the opponent forces. Aggression, though. Long, hard shot for Twist to hit. Does do some damage. Double tag onto Stewie. That down to 6, but they're so far away. This will be Toxic's 12. Still ensuring it. And Kenny forced to Scarpa.
Maybe a tactical timeout required on the CT side.
Yeah, get their coach involved. Jordan, nothing. Gilbert, of course, behind one. Chad Sponge Birchall, the other.
Their money's not looking great.
Yeah, it's really not. CTs might want to take a tactical time ahead. It's discussed, like, take a full eco. Let's calm down. This is getting out of control now. The Bizons aren't working out, surprisingly. Maybe reevaluate the strategies and overall complexion of the buys here.
Yeah, maybe. I think the eco strategy...
Oh, they changed things up. Convic's gone for the decoy grenade here. For eco, so I'm interested to see what he's going to do with that.
Here it comes. So
Powerful weapon.
He's got the lineup. I imagine he's been working on that one. Yep. Okay,
there
so
it
we'll
is.
follow that.
That's going to be a big part.
Onto the corner.
This is actually very interesting. We haven't seen this yet. So you can jump up there now to the boosted position by yourself. That's a really nice way to mix things up instead of just being isolated in the corner. Some different variations of that angle to hold. Should be a pretty convincing round here for Team Toxic, but the first frag will go in favor of a lead. USPs and 1 deagle here. Oh, this is actually...
The dink, this is going to be the most
awkward
way. Twist.
No,
He's handing out all the dinks.
Not the full eco.
Twist and Elise, they're on the full eco and already have found 3 between them. Leave Steel and Nitro. You said they had to eco. It turns out that was the formula.
Oh, it's actually going to Config loves a knife.
He loves
He's had
it.
some favorable situations like this. Steel,
not
like this. No!
Steel! He steals it! It's going to be 16 to 12. We started this show match with knives. We finish it the same.
My
a whole lot of fun.
Well then, that was fun. That definitely is the operative word. I think it absolutely had it all. We got to demonstrate the new positions, the new ideas, the new ways of holding things, especially the boosts and stacks that were coming through. Sal, are you satisfied with what you saw today? Are you happy with how it was played out?
Yeah, I'm really happy with what I saw there, and thank you to both of you for having me on the cast. It's been an honor to be up here with you guys.
It's been an absolute honor to have you up here as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing this new, exciting version of Cash to our doorstep. I'm very excited to see how this one evolves. I'm sure the players have enjoyed that as well. Cash is an iconic map, and it looks like it's getting better and better. It's aesthetically pleasing, and now we've got the adjustment to the CT side. It looks like it's getting toward that point where I really want to see it go. A nice, perfect position towards middle especially.
I'm just really excited to see what happens with time. Seeing professional players, given the pressures or the interests of innovating on it, those small changes will have knock-on effects. I imagine map design, it's a nuanced art in sometimes the changes you make.
For sure, and it's all very cyclical. You know, as teams start figuring out something that works really well, other teams counter it, and then the cycle continues.
And it keeps going. We're going to keep going, and let's head over to OJ on the stage.
Thank you, Alex. What a way to win it.
Yeah, that was sweet. It was a good time. It was actually pretty fun, and the changes aren't huge, but I think it's cool. It's a nice twist to the map. There's some cool stuff in there, and there's still more to explore, so yeah, it was fun.
10 to 15%, I think I heard, has been changed. Do you feel that when you were running around it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the changes aren't drastic, but there's small changes here and there, and that kind of stuff can make a big change overall. So there's still a lot of stuff that we haven't even seen, because that was our first time playing it right there as well, so yeah.
It's craziness that was the first time you were playing it. What about the lushness of it all? The greenness of the map?
Yeah, I was actually kind of thrown off by it, because there's actually no map like that with those kind of textures, so it's interesting, because, yeah, it's one of a kind.
Tarek, I love the fact that you've just warmed up with a show match ahead of a grand final on the stage. Do you feel warm now? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good warm-up. I wish the rest of my team was here as well. We should have had all 5 of us. But yeah, I mean, it's a good warm-up, and now I'm looking forward to the final. And hopefully the stage fills up a little more and these guys start cheering for us, because you guys are a little quiet out there.
There you go. Tarek, it's going to be great to see you on stage. Looking forward to it. He'll be here with the Evenall Geniuses for a best-of-5 grand final for possibly this trophy. Until we get to that, we'll hand back to Trace.
Thank you very much, OJ in New York. Did you enjoy Cash? You know what? One reigning question I'm going to have right away, and I'm pretty sure it's just one of the intricate details that are going to happen, and it's going to get addressed, would be something to do with this thing right here. What do you know about that?
We might need that back in the game, I think. He's pointing at the simple graffiti for those of you who aren't too familiar with that. Obviously, an iconic moment on the map. We have to go back many a majors, but you know, stuff like that, we shouldn't get it forgotten about.
No, it shouldn't be forgotten about, but more importantly, how do we feel about this new cache? You guys got a really first-hand experience.
I got another victory, right? So obviously the caches, that's 3 in a row right now. We'll give that. That'll be like a little asterisk. Henry wasn't here, but that was fun.
And, that was a good time. It was a good time. It was interesting to see the shift. Very subtle changes. The window in mid makes it so the T's can't really sit around as much. They really have to take cover. And then the A kind of like,
the
Kenny
cross,
won
right?
that 1v2. Like you can kind of play off that box. It gives you a whole different perspective of retake. A.
That wall was a dead space before, right? Where that new box is towards A, that was a dead space. If you got stuck there, you were dead. They'd just flash and pick you. But here, now that you can play around that box, the new angles on the site, it allows more diversity. There's a lot of boosts, I think, that you can do. Some of the really initial, because we get to hear the players the whole time, right? Which is really cool. But some of the initial things the guys on this side were talking about was, you can't use a green crosshair. It's green everywhere, right? That's some of the first things they were talking about. And then using these new ledges, instead of being able to walk around and clear one angle, now like the ledge on the B bomb site, right? Above headshot, you've got multiple positions you have to clear.
Light.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to call
I don't
it
think
in our
that does
squad.
anything. I don't think that works.
Lamp.
So talk to me a little bit about maybe some of the skyboxes that are now open and some of the avenues that say the CTs can smoke from, because now you can have a player at B smoking mid.
That's pretty crazy, right? We saw that before Russia, obviously, the pro map tester giving us those little things to look at. But that's cool, right? Because the CTs, when you would run out of your mid players, right, you had to gamble. You'd play like 3 players mid, and if you locked them down early, that's great. But you'd use all your utility just to get there. Now that with the window, now the fact you can smoke and have other people from other bomb sites helping you out, you can really slow down how you want to control that mid position. And I think, you know, that ladder, that's going to be very versatile. It's going to allow for a lot more. This map already had a lot of pop flash ability. It's going to have even more. You have to be on your toes a lot.
So I guess in this moment, we've seen how it plays, obviously from a show match perspective, but what would you guys like to see happen further? I mean, do we feel like this is right where it needs to be for professional play?
Oh, I think because they've only changed, you know, that 10 to 15% of it, those changes, they're going to come down the line, right? Where immediately we're going to say, okay, well, you have to clear new angles, or we need a new smoke or a new Molotov. But it's going to take a few months of competitive play before we see how that changes the strategies and how they will play with the rotations. Because we want to see what people feel comfortable with first, and then how you're going to deal with those positions.
And we've seen it on other maps where the skybox gets opened. Everyone thinks, oh, you're going to be able to throw all these crazy fakes with smokes, but people will start to learn where the trajectory of the smoke came from. And to me, the only complaint I heard was like the color about the crosshair thing. Like the map to me is really cool, and I like the changes. I don't know if they'll have to adjust some textures or not after getting some feedback, but obviously this isn't the final version of it. But it was fun just in general. The spawn box at A changes the whole dynamic of the after plants and subtle things at B, so it's really fun.
And you got some good vlog content out of this, Jordan.
Do we speak about that?
I don't know if we do, but what we do have is a grand final on our hands. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a best of 5 will be coming your way here sooner rather than later. We do have Astralis, we do have the Evil Geniuses, and we do have the Barclays Center packed out to the max. We'll be right back after this break.